Good afternoon. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker, today I am your host for the afternoon. My name is Badhun Das. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and certified international educational and training institute. In last years, we already served 35 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus profession and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional is an education institute that provides social work globally recognized and reputable. We serve student community, resource provide holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by offering formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate professional generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, internationally to student, job seeker, job holder, and also for learner to respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is one of the famous online institute from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminar courses, our quiz competition mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like paid on portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and one knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can update all day. Kids learning game, website, free course, converse sites, and many more. We help to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement several training program, webinar and offline online courses for you, the learner, by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by global linear professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and will serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concept for the learner to represent more diversity, growth, and innovation and regard to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective best quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and follow. Before I move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before I move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, you already completed 1,804 webinars successfully. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, you already completed 1,804 webinars successfully. Dear IGP speaker, participant, and well wisher, at this moment, this is very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surplus for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or logged in, you cannot enjoy our service. So create an account for us with profile information. Note that with profile information, you will enjoy our feature. With mismatched data, you cannot do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace that. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars with verified e-certificate. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session, we will not provide any code for certification. You have to take part in that. You will receive your certificate, otherwise not. But if you take part in an exam, unlimited till you pass. Previous certificate is speakership certificate. If you are a host of IGP, you can download a certificate of gratitude. If you are an online live quiz competition winner, you can download a certificate of participation. If you are selected for a lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in an award function which organizes common support with IGP, you can download that also. You can actually prepare and download 18 types of certificate from our website within a minute. Certificate of global professional membership, certificate of global influences in the pandemic, certificate of active knowledge seeker, certificate of social activities in the pandemic, certificate of achievement IGP knowledge income in 2020, 2021 and 2022. Certificate of participation webinar series 1. Authentic assessment in teaching learning. Certificate of participation webinar series 2. Teaching English as foreign language and assessment. Certificate of participation webinar series 3. Digital classroom engagement tools. Certificate of participation webinar series for the new trend in education. Certificate of participation webinar series 5. ABC leadership and managerial skills. Certificate of participation webinar series 6. Trend and innovation in mathematics education. Certificate of participation webinar series 7. Research comprehension approach. Certificate of participation webinar series 8. Art in teaching and special program in the arts. Certificate of participation webinar series 9. 21st century student teaching mathematics. Certificate of IGP corporate ambassador. Certificate of IGP campus ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1,000 plus international level quiz with verified certificate. Teaching tips for teacher, health tips for parents, health tips for teens, unification tools for teacher. You can join IGP alumni. You can check out our Fitness services website for free and many more. Dear IGP will be sure we promise to best, but lack of technical problem, we are late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous condition. We solve all issues from our website. Now you can enroll, receive password, everything. You can check out this but for all other details. This is a cordial request to check out button pages on our website. Should like and say and benefited. Thank you, but note that without an account or login, you cannot edit yourself. At present, we are going to start our 1805 webinar, which name is Challenge of Hybrid Hyflex classes, and today our speaker's name is Stevie Christopher S. Ong. He is from Philippines. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker, sir, also share a very little bit about her. School at Philippines Chin Kang High School. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon here, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the participants from the worldwide. Okay, so let me introduce myself again. So a little introductions of mine. So I'm Steve Christopher Wong. I'm from Philippines, and currently I'm the school head of Philippine Cheng Wang High School, and this is my third talk this year. Okay, hopefully I still have the chance to share my knowledge. Okay. My topic for today is about the challenges of hybrid and Hyflex classes. The class. So actually we're still in this close in this and the how can you say that it's close to endemic time, but we're still in the pandemic time, but we're in the close to endemic time because I think there's no official announcement from the WHO that the pandemic is over. So a lot of people are still afraid of this COVID-19 viruses. Okay, so some schools are still having in Philippines, some schools are still having this online class, and some schools are fully switching to physical class. But most of the schools here in Philippines, they still adopting this hybrid or high flex class. Okay, then let me share you some knowledge that I know that about this. What are these challenges? Okay, this hybrid and high flex class or the high flex class, it's you cannot avoid it. You cannot avoid it anymore. Okay, so whether you like it or not, there's no you cannot expect that will we go back to the old time before the classes, the settings, the modality of the old school, the physical class. Even though the pandemic time is over, so we will still have this hybrid or high flex. This hybrid or high flex, it's part of our physical class now. Okay, it's part of our class settings. You cannot change it and you cannot remove it. So let me share something about the evolution of classes. Okay, so we started with this physical class. Okay, so this is a traditional or the old school settings. People, students going to school, they just sit down inside the classroom, and there's a big blackboard. Now there's a whiteboard, and then the teachers, the old school teachers, they teach with a stick. Okay, this is pointing the whatever's written in the blackboard and teaching the students. Okay, and then of course the industrial revolutions came, so computers becomes the part of our daily life. So even though the education switches from the very old traditional to this so-called CAI, the computer-aided instruction time. So teachers are using computer to help them in their teachings. Okay, then of course as time goes on, so multimedia came. So people are very accessible to the multimedia, particularly the birth of the internet. Okay, and then of course this is during this physical classes. It happens during the before the pandemic time. When this pandemic time came, actually it started in 2019, and then actually the how we call that, the lockdown, it started on 2020. Okay, the virus becomes spread everywhere. So there's a lot of victims. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people suffering or died from this, of these viruses. So the system of schools changes. Okay, so from the physical settings is to the virtual settings, everything switched to online class. Switched to online class, and then of course, after 2 years, we actually most of us are having this vaccine, this COVID-19 vaccine, and then we were believed that we were protected from this virus. So a little bit, people are going back to school. They're going back to school little by little. So there's so-called the Hyflex or hybrid. So when you say hybrid, it's more on the blended ones. That is the online class and the offline class. They blend together. They blend together. So some school days, or some subjects or some schools they have this online class, and some schools days they have this physical class like this. The definition of hybrid and Hyflex is very broad and wide. But it's more on combination of physical and online class. Okay, when you say Hyflex, of course, the word flex is a hybrid flexible. It's a flexibility of arranging it synchronously or asynchronously. But the big questions right now is there a possible, is there a chance, is there a bigger chance that we will go back to this physical class just like before the pandemic time? We will have these ultra general settings, we have this we're using these PowerPoint presentations, or we make use of some computers, and then we have this overhead, not the multimedia projector. All students will go back to schools 100%. No more online classes. Okay, is that possible? Yes, that's possible. Okay, that's possible, but can we fully implement that? Okay, so today I will share the experience of my school. Okay, that in my schools there's a little bit challenge regarding this going back to physical class. Okay, so first of all, the big question is: are we already in the stage of endemic, or we can say it's pandemic's over? No one can ever tell. Okay, so just right now, of course now I'm not in Philippines, I'm in Japan right now. I having this conference, and then of course I have to fulfill my commitment to IGP. So I'm now here in my hotel room, so I'm sharing my knowledge and my experience. Okay, so in Philippines, I think 80% people are not wearing face masks anymore. They feel safe, but sadly, I have a co-teachers. Actually, it's not co-teachers. It's my teacher. Okay, who happens to become my co-teachers. Okay, died 3 days ago because of during the time I was still in Japan, and then I just sent a message, and then I asked what happened to my teacher, okay, or to my colleagues. They said she died from COVID-19 virus. So again, so is the virus is still that strong, that exists, that can hurt people? So can we say pandemic's over? Can we say the virus is over? Can we say that we're now in this endemic time? It's really hard to to say that virus is over, pandemic's over. Okay. So everyone, like Japan, also in Philippines, everyone they are getting ready to go back to physical class this year. Last school year, okay, last school year, Philippines they're having this hybrid. Okay, they're having this hybrid or Hyflex class. But this year, lots of schools, they want to go back to physical class because of there's so many inconvenience for the teacher. They really want to go back to school, but there's a lot of obstacles, there's a lot of challenges that we have to overcome before we can go back fully to physical class. Then the question is, if you really want to go back to physical class, are you ready? Are you ready for that? Okay. So going back to face-to-face or the physical classes, so uh, let me wait for a moment. Okay, let me read this once. According to one of the professor here on one of our prestigious universities, the De La Salle universities, according to to Sir Jose Marie Almoradi Carpena, as of COVID-19 pandemic starts to subside, so we know it is subside, Philippine schools has started to reopen their campuses to students. They reopen. Okay, that means they are ready for having this physical class. For many, this is a return to normality. However, we have to understand to truly understand that there is a new normal, a new normal. Okay, not only the fact that we have to be aware of health and social distancing, but also with the regards how we frame our students' learning experience. So we have a lot of consideration, a lot of things to be considered, especially the health. Okay, especially the health, and especially actually the social distancing is not a big problem anymore, but how we frame our students in their learning experience because of 2 years pandemic time. Okay, 2 years of having this online class, they are not used to physical class anymore. Okay, they're really having hard time to attend the physical class, not only the students but also the parent. Most our parents, they don't want their kid to go back to school. They don't want their kid to go back to schools. They want that they to continue their online class. But some students, some parents, they want their kid to go back to schools for so many reasons. What are those reasons? The reasons is they have to go to work and they cannot, especially that their child is a small kid, they cannot just left the kid alone in their house or let one of the parents, the mother or father, to accompany the kid in their study. The father and the mother, the couple, they have to go to work to earn money because they have so big losses, huge losses during this pandemic time. So this type of parents, they want their kid to go back to schools. So in my school, the Philippine Chengkwa High School, I have conducted a survey. So by 60 parents, actually the 60 parents of my schools, I've conducted survey. Are you ready to go back to face-to-face class, the physical class, or are you ready to let your kid to go back to schools to attend this face-to-face or physical class? So 55%, 55 out of 60, or the 91.60%, 67%, those parents want their kids, those parents wants their kid to go back to schools. Of course, I didn't state any reasons, but most of the reasons is no one will took care of their kid inside their house while they're in their work. But there's only 5% of parents, they consider this health, the reasons of health. They still believe that the this is COVID-19 virus is besides us. Okay, they're afraid that their kid will be contaminated with this virus and some things will happen bad to their kids. So they're afraid of these things. So they firmly disagree. They firmly want their kid to stay home and attend online classes. Okay, so what will happen to those students can't join the physical class? Okay, in my school, this is the reason in my schools. So actually this year I insisted to have this physical class. I insisted for so many reasons. Later on, I will state the reason why. But these 5% parents, if not 5%, let me check, this 8.33% parent, they insisted that I want my kid, I want my child, I want my children to continue have this online class. So if you can't, so the parent told me, if you can't let my kid to have this online class, so one of the options is I will transfer my kid out of your school. Okay, I will transfer my kid out of the school. So transfer out is one of their choices that if we don't agree to have this online class. Okay, so this is one of the reasons only. But the school has their own, they has their own, how you say that, on things to consider. They don't want this kid to transfer out of their school. That's like mine. My school, from the school year 2020 to 2022, up to 60% of my students' population dropped. So I can't afford to let those students, that's small portion, the 8.33% of students to transfer out because financial issues will involve. Year 2020, school year 2020 to 2022, these two school year, my school suffer a huge loss. For one reasons, a lot of students stop schooling. They don't even want to attend the online class due to so many reasons. One of the reasons is their parents lost their job. They don't have enough money. Even I have reduced the tuition fee because the students, they don't have to go to schools anymore. So the so-called library fee, the so-called the computer fee, I just removed that from the tuition and the miscellaneous fee. So of course, when the students will go back to school, so I have to bring it back to their tuition and miscellaneous. So if a lot of students still choose to transfer, that will be a huge problem for me. So that's one I have to consider. I cannot let these students to transfer out, particularly for those excel their academic excellently. Number two, okay, this 8.33% students, 8.33, I don't want them to transfer out. So I have to sustain the modality. Okay. So I have to sustain these hybrid classes. So that means the combination of synchronous and asynchronous. Or I have to have this purely online, but I I, I, I don't think I can fully implement the purely online. A lot of schools right now, these school series are still using, they still sustaining these hybrid classes. Okay, they have this asynchronous, they have this few days of online class and few days of offline class or the virtual class, and then some, of course, the online class and the physical class is having this synchronous modality, and this offline class or the virtual class, sometimes they have this asynchronous activity. So the combination of these two is to sustain their hybrid classes. So, or we can say holding these online classes and offline classes synchronously. So some students are on their online class and some students are on their physical class, then they attend the class at the same time. So this is online and offline classes synchronously. But there's another questions. The majority of the parents, they want their kid to go back to schools. They don't want to have this, online class anymore because they're feeling that their children, they don't learn things from online classes. That's one of the big reasons also. So it's making me having hard time. What should I do? What should I do? Okay. So last school year, so I have this another survey. Out of 10 schools here in my place, only 8 schools are having this online plus offline, this hybrid class. And 2%, they still having the fully online classes. This is only out of 10 schools. Only out of 10 schools. I just surveyed 10 schools, my nearby schools. Okay. Nearby this the neighbor of my schools, the Philippine Chengwang High School. That is last school year. But this school years, I didn't make this presentation because I'm still as observing, and I will conduct also a survey. Of course, that will be more than 10 schools participants to answer my survey. As far as I concern, most of the schools are having big school. Okay, that means when I say big school, the students population is in the thousand. By the way, my schools is a small scale schools. My students is more than 200. My students population is more than 200, but less than 500. And when I say medium scale schools is from 501 to less than 1,000. So these 10 participant schools, of course, the 20% of that is some small scale school because they want to have this cost cutting. But this having hybrid, the 8 out of 10, some are small scale, some are that includes my schools. Okay, some are medium scale, and some are the big scale school. So this school year, most of the most of the uh, most of the schools, they are having physical class. I don't have this accurate number. Okay, but as far as I concern, I know most of the schools we switch to fully face-to-face, fully physical class, and a small portion they will still sustain their hybrid classes, but there's no more fully online classes anymore. So, but there's a consequence for those switching to fully physical classes. When I have this verbal interview, most of them says they suffer a loss of students because there's still a small portion of their schools, of their students don't want to transfer to fully face-to-face. So they will transfer to other schools and to choose which schools offer hybrid or fully online. So that is what's happening now in Philippines. Okay, so in this school, in next school year 2023 to 2024, this coming new school year, because no, this school year 2023 to 2024. Okay, so actually a lot of schools now are having hybrid. Okay, even though even though because those having this fully physical, they slowly switching back to hybrid because of losing the students. Okay, then because they have conducted also a survey why those students don't want to switch back. Of course, these are the major reasons. Okay, of course, there's a lot of students, they are unvaccinated, and of course, some are having someone in their home who is particularly vulnerable to COVID-19 or other diseases, or not being able to physically attend classes due to distance and other concerns. Sorry for uh, the wrong spelling and some financial issues. Okay, so this problem exists. So it's really hard to have this fully physical. So all I can say is this so-called the new normal or the new hybrid classes is before it's the blended one, online and offline blended one. As I mentioned a while ago, this online and offline synchronous class is a new trending right now. It's a new trending. Just look at the pictures I put. I got it from the internet. Is some students are having this online class, and some students those attending online class is also presented through some platform. They're also virtually present inside the classroom. This is the new normal. This hybrid, this kind of hybrid is online and offline. They held this class synchronously, having online synchronously. Okay, so now let's go to these challenges. This kind of hybrid, the online and offline synchronously, either is synchronously or either is a blended classes. Okay, so number one, the all-time issues, the challenges, the technical issues. Also, the technical issues is, when we mention technical issues, participants may encounter technical problems such as poor internet connectivity. That's true. I give you my testimony. I have this internet way back. It's in my in Philippines, in my place. But during nighttime, my internet will cut. It will be disconnected for 2 to 3 hours, and it will come back. And when this internet resumes, the speed of the internet goes slow. So this is the biggest problem right now in Philippines. Okay, just like here in Japan, I still haven't encountered this internet connectivity. But as I have interviewed my some friends who are also teaching here in Japan, they also have this internet connectivity problem, but not as worse as in Philippines. Okay, if you compare the two countries. Okay, so of course there is still some software glitches or these hardware malfunctions. So I share you one of my experiences. 5 days ago, I having this online presentations also, and then suddenly something's wrong with my laptop. Something's wrong with I'm using this VOOV. It is a certain video conferencing platform that's commonly used in China, but it goes crazy. Something's happened unexpectedly, so I cannot present my presentation well. Okay. And all this can disrupt the learning experience for both an online and offline students. Okay, how come? It also affects the offline students or physical students because of the how we say that, because of the lectures you give. Okay, it will not be you just cannot, because you're having this synchronously, this online offline class. Okay, so you just cannot take good care of the offline students or the physical class students, and you just ignore the online students. You just tell the ignore students, okay, let's wait for your internet to come back. Let's wait when you fix your software and hardware, then it's just a catch up lesson. You cannot do this. You really have to take care the online and offline students fairly. So that will give you a big problem. Okay. Then inequitable access. Not all students may have the equal access to the necessary technology or a stable internet connection. That is one of the biggest problem here in Philippines. During that time, not all area have this internet. Now, not all the students, they have these gadgets, this stable internet connection. It depends. It's vary on the area here in Philippines. Okay, some places have this strong internet connection. Some places have this weak internet connections. Then this can lead the disparities in participations and learning outcomes. That means the biggest issue is there's a left behind issues for online students. When it comes to technology in this online or offline, usually the issues goes to online students. They will left behind. Then next. So actually there's another challenges we have to face during this having these hybrid classes, the online offline synchronous classes, the technical literacy. Students may vary in their levels of technical proficiency, which can affect their ability to navigate online platforms, engage with digital tools, and effectively participated in virtual discussions. This is for online students usually. That that all students are good in technology. One word for that. Okay, that is for online students. How about the offline students? Sometimes there will be having an interaction with online students. If your offline students or your physical class students, they also have this technical literacy problem, they can have these good interactions with the online students, but they both belong to one class, just in different settings. Okay, so this is some challenges you have to overcome this one. So these technical issues, okay, these technical issues, actually it's beyond the problem of the school, not the totally, but the teacher should the teacher should guide the students when these problems occur. So in my schools, I usually have a so-called some sort of IT class for my students, that when they encounter this problem, my IT teachers, they will just gather the informations and tell the students, when you encounter this problem, you can do this. When you encounter this problem, you can do this. When you encounter this problem, you can do this. Do this, do that, do this, do that. You just guide the students. That's the only way to overcome the challenges, because it's really hard to guide the students in their technical problem. Then, this is one of the big problems. The challenges of the hybrid classes is the time zone differences. Students joining from different time zones may face challenges in synchronizing their schedules with the class timings. This can lead to difficulties in attending live sessions and participating fully. So, uh, I I have a students. That's why I'm here in Japan, because I have some students here in Japan. Okay, and of course, I have a few students, one or two only, and I have some students. They move from Philippines and goes to US, and one go to Canada, and some are in other places. So not so many students, but mostly in Asia. How about my two students in America and one student in Canada? They're having these time zone differences. So all I can do is I cannot force them to attend the live sessions, because our nighttime is their daytime and their nighttime is our daytime. I cannot just tell the students, you better go to, you should not sleep and have to attend these live sessions. So in this way, I can only do is, because the kids really want to study in my school, even though they're not physically present in Philippines. So I have to let my teachers to have so many recordings, their teaching sessions recording. Okay, just upload that in one, I upload in YouTube or upload in Facebook. It's based on the convenience of students and the teachers. So the students are having this asynchronous class in their sessions. Okay, so time zone differences gives us our schools so many challenges. The only way I solve this problem is using this recording system. So, but so far so good. There's no problems to occur. Okay, so hopefully next school year those students in US and one in Canada can come back to Philippines. Their families is still in the Philippines, so hopefully they can come back to Philippines and attend these physical classes. Then this engagement interaction, this is one of the problems. Maintaining active engagement interaction in a hybrid synchronous class can be challenging. So educators need to find ways to involve both online and offline students effectively, which requires careful planning and facilitation. Okay, so that's why a while ago I have mentioned that if you have this, one of the problems is technical issues. Okay, so if one party, there's two parties, one's online, one's physical, one of the parties having these technical issues, it's really hard to have this interaction. And you cannot make interaction that online classes have online classes interaction and physical classes have physical interaction. No, you should involve this both online and offline students to have this interaction. So teachers really have to carefully to plan and how to facilitate it. Of course, they have to make use some online platform. That's examples like a whiteboard. They using this how you say that the Jamboard of Google. I'm not making advertising, but I'm sharing my experience. That's Jamboard or some online, okay, some online software or online website that can help you to interact offline and online. So it also involves these technical issues. And then if there's an interaction activity, okay, then something happens with their internet, these mental and psychological issues of these online students may occur. Because some students, particularly for those grade schoolers, okay, they will think that they are not part of the class. They are not part because when the physical class has this online classes on these physical activities, they are not directly involved. Last year, when I still I'm first time I have this hybrid or the offline or online synchronous class, most of my activities held physically, and then the online class students they can join to prepare to have this presentation to be part of this activity. They really have this mental and psychological problem issues. They in the middle of the school year they insisted convincing their insisted that they want to go back to physical class. They want to go back to physical class because they want to be a part. Some parents agree and some parents still disagree that to let their kids go back to school, okay, to go back to school physically to attend physical class. So the mood of the students and the behavior of students have they changes. They have this a little problem regarding that because they're not happy. They're not happy that they're not part because they witnesses that their classmates are having fun, and then they're just sitting inside their house and open a computer, open this video conferencing platform. They're just watching the students. They just like watching a movie. So if really there's this online classes and have these online classes that held together, and then how can you plan it? My solution for this one is there I have this some online uh, presentations and have some physical presentations. Okay, I have some online activities. I have some physical activities. I will carefully plan for a activity because you cannot plan a online and offline together. So you can. It's really rare and hard to plan that, but it's not impossible. So what you can do is this activity you can plan it online and left the offline students to participate on these online activities, and then you can conduct some offline activity and let the online students can participate in this offline activity to balance everything. So which my last statement says requires careful planning and facilitation. Of course, the classroom management. This is the all-time issues. Managing classrooms where some students are physically present while others are joining virtually can be complex. Okay, instructor must find ways to address the needs of the both groups and ensure an inclusive learning environment. This the more the major problem is the online students. It's really hard to manage these online students. So you have to think a lot of way to hold their attentions. Okay? Never let your students that they are virtually present but physically absent. But you cannot one simple way is you have to require your students to open the camera. But when the internet connections problems occur, the students cannot open a camera, so you have to think another way of calling their attentions. You have to make sure that they are present. So so these are the challenges that we have to pay attention for. Next, distractions and environments. Online students may face distractions in their home environment that can impact their abilities to focus and participate effectively. Of course, we know that. Okay. And we have experienced this one. We also have witnessed during the 2 years pandemic online classes. Similarly, offline students may be encounter distractions in the physical classroom. There is distractions. Actually, there's really a lot of distraction. So, how to solve this distraction? Okay, so the teachers should think a way to catch the attention of a student to focus in you as teachers. So you have to think a lot of new things. You have to think a lot of uh, interesting things that you can attract their attention. Never let other things to distract them. They should put their attentions in you only. This is one of the challenges also, the assessment and evaluations. Designing assessments that are fair and equitable for both online and offline students can be challenging. Instructors must consider alternative assessment methods that accumulate different modes of participation. That's right. You cannot use one mode of assessing the students or evaluating the students for online and offline students. It's easy for the offline. We used to do that. But the online students, you have to have different criterias. Okay. You have more considerations and you have to be extra careful on assessing them. So you cannot use one method. You cannot use one tool to assess the both online and offline students. Access to learning resources is one of the challenges of hybrid classes. Okay, so providing access to course materials, readings, and resources for both online and offline students can be challenging. Instructors need to ensure that all students have equal access to essential materials. So I usually in my situations, at first I have these students. I have these students. Okay, that these students, how can I say that they have these hard copies, their materials in hard copy, and online students, I'm sending them the soft copy so they can use the both online and offline soft copy. But some students that attending online classes, they're requiring they just requesting the school to send the hard copy. I would love to send this hard copy to the online students. Having hard copy of these learning materials, it's it's different for having this soft copy. In my case, I love having this hard copy, reading the books not through iPad, not through the tablet, not through the laptop, not through the notebook, the computer. If there's a physical book, I love this one. There's a physical paper, there's written all the learning materials on it. I really love to. Uh, this soft copy is at first is slighted, but in long run, there's a negative effect in your vision. So slowly, you don't want to read the soft copy. So, but it's sometimes we are forced to have this soft copy. So, in one thing, if you can give the hard copy to your students, sending the hard copy to your students, and then your students to read these hard copies, that would be good. Okay, if can send a revised soft copy, that means you just put all the important points only. Okay, the learning points they want to. So just one they just browse it and read it. They could understand the important points of a lesson, and they will not take too much time in the that is looking at the computer because of the radiations that will hurt our vision. Okay, and then that is the learning materials. How about for those references? In my case, in my case, I usually I will download some things or I will put some learning materials in one simple, not necessarily I have to give them a website. They have to having hard time to go inside that hard the how you say that the website just to search for the materials, to read the materials. I download all the materials. I made all the materials and I just put it in a drive in a cloud. A cloud exclusively for that school year, for that batch students, for that class student. So I'm making them easy to access. Okay, some learning materials, some references, or some PowerPoint or whatsoever. They will have this. That will make them easy to access to these materials. Okay, then this is one of the biggest problem. Not the biggest problem, is a major problem, is the instructor workload. Managing a hybrid synchronous class requires additional preparations and adaptability on the part of instructor. That's true. Instead of they preparing one mode, they will prepare the lessons in two different modes, one online and offline. And the biggest challenge is how can teach the students synchronously effectively. So they may need to create multiple versions of materials and assessments to accommodate both modes of participations. So as I mentioned a while ago, the assessment, the evaluation, these things, you cannot just having this one style, one mode. Okay, you should have create some materials that is suitable for the online class students, and one set of materials or one set of lessons that's suitable for the offline students. So the workload of the instructor, of the teachers, becomes it's becomes so much for them. They have this heavy hard load. So one way is this is having this over workload, even though even though they have this same working units, same teaching units, same teaching, how you say that, same times of teaching, but we have to consider the preparations. It's not, no, it's not say you teaching one class. No, you have to consider that the preparations of the teacher. It's not how many class, it's the same class. It's not just saying they have the same students, same number of students. Just like having 25 online students, purely online students, and having 25 purely offline students, and having 25 online plus offline students that having a synchronous class, it's totally different. So having this offline and online synchronous class, it's equivalent to two online class, two purely online class, or two purely offline class. So one way of make up these things, compensations issue involved. If the school administrations is wise enough, okay, and they can understand the hardship of the teachers, they have to give them some additional compensation, because having one offline plus online synchronous class is equivalent to two two offline class, two fully offline class, or two fully online class, or you just having a synchronous and asynchronous class, the blended class. So the challenge of this hybrid class is for the teacher is they willing to work, but you have to pay them extra, a little bit extra to make them happy, pay them a little bit extra to let them how we say that, to show just like the schools showing gratitude for the teachers, that you are willing to, I say that you're willing to helping the schools to educate our students. Okay, and at the same time you showing your gratitude to the teachers, that they are being a good teacher. Of course, the privacy and security concerns, particularly for the online classes students, instructors, and students, need to be mindful of privacy and security issues when conducting classes online, especially for the online classes, because the kids, they are not so professional in giving out some information. So particularly right now, there's in everywhere in this world, there's just some scam issues, okay, or there's a hacking issues. So this includes protecting the personal information, ensuring a secure online learning environment. So never tell the students to share some uh, personal informations through the platform or the online learning environment. I usually require them to send through email and not to mention everything on the platform. Okay, so this is the way. And vice versa is I will not also let my offline students, when having this interaction with the online students, okay, not to share their personal informations also. So, of course, lastly is the feedback of the communication and communications, providing timely and meaningful feedback to students, as well as facilitating effective communications between online and offline participants requires a careful planning and considerations also. So that means, okay, that means when you're giving feedback to the students, okay, never said you should give them you should give the feedback that they will receive your message, okay, synchronously or at the same time. Okay, you cannot. I will give my some feedback to my offline students first, and then I just wait tomorrow or later evening. Okay, later evening that I will just give the my feedback to the online students, because online and offline students, they have their personal communications with each other, except for the teachers. Okay, if every time when the online students they receive the feedback beforehand, before it goes to the online student, there will be another mental issues or some psychological issues, the things that online students, they are not being, how we say that, they're not being treated fairly. Okay, so feedback should be on time. Feedback should be on time, and feedback should be, how would I say that? Uh, it's on time, and it should be uh, the both parties, the both online and offline students, they receive at the same time. Okay, no one should comes first. If there's somebody who comes first, probably the gap will be a small, uh, just a very short time only. So, conclusions, despite of these challenges, a well-designed hybrid synchronous format can be benefits in terms of flexibility and inclusivity. So, it's the new trendings right now, the new trending right now is having this hybrid. As of these 2 years, these 2 to 3 years, I think this hybrid synchronous class is still a need. It's still a new normal for the new normal education. So it's called a new normal. As I mentioned in my previous talks, this is a new normal. A new normal. Okay. So if you can design a very effective, a well-designed hybrid synchronous class, so it will benefit both online and offline students. Okay. So of course, with the proper planning, training, and the use of appropriate technology, uh, actually, that when it comes to technology, when it comes to preparations, don't expect that. Just don't think that I have to be very professionals in my in using the technology. Okay, in my school, you see, as long my teachers can stand in front of the camera. Okay, my camera is not a 360 rotating camera. It's just a camera, and then it just put in a certain distance that we can view the center part of the blackboard, and the teachers just stand there, and then they have this a remote to control the laptop or to control the computer. Okay, and then the teachers just know how to use the platform, and of course with the appropriate settings, the sounds, the audio, of course, the speakers. Okay, how can you receive the sounds or send out the sounds? Okay, so that's all. And then the pointer is used for uh, how we say that, the using a online presentations for the students. Of course, it would project everything through a big screen. Through a big screen, so both online and offline students can see the excuse me, can view the on-screen presentations. Okay, so that's a simple technology skills, and some tools only, simple tools only. Many of these challenges can be mit- mitigated to create a rich, engaging learning experience for all students. So even though we're facing a lot of these challenges, okay, but if you really have this hard to overcome these challenges, one thing we teachers, I can assure you that your skills in managing these hybrid classes will be not the same as before. Okay, so let's face the new normal. Okay, let's challenge the new normal, and let's upgrade ourselves. So this is the challenge of the hybrid classes in this so-called near to endemic time or the post-pandemic time. Again, thank you very much for giving a chance to share my experience. I hope you learned something from me. Okay, again, thank you very much. And sorry for some cough. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich content presentation which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new which was our only intention. Learn and go together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we will back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. So our first question is from Bhalaraga. Why face-to-face better than Hyflex?
Okay, thank you for the questions. Why face is better than the Hyflex? Because there is lesser distraction of the environment. Okay, because during the Hyflex, when you say Hyflex, is number one, you having this online or offline class, either online or offline purely. Number two, number two is you have this asynchronous. Okay, so if you have this online class, there's a much distraction rather than this offline class. Okay, or rather this offline class. So there's a distraction, but you have this flexible class, this asynchronous. You can never monitor what's really happening to your students. So in other words, it's the monitoring, okay, the monitoring of the teachers to the students. It's not that that effective rather than having face-to-face classes. You monitor in front of you. Okay, so that's why most of the students, most of the parents, they want the students to their kid to go back to school because they want their kids being monitored by the teacher. It's really monitored by the teachers, and then of course the kid will not. You can assure that they're really learning something. So that's why most of the parents says in 2 years of pandemic time, their kids learn a little compared in the physical class. That is the pre-pandemic time. We just forced to have this online and switch to this physical class only. Switch to this hybrid mode. Okay, so face-to-face class, it's proven it's better than this Hyflex class because of the monitorings of teachers. We can monitor and guide the teachers and the students in front of our eyes. Okay, thank you. I hope I have answered your questions.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Sir, our next question is from Corazon. Sir, speaker can you cite a very effective specify activity that you have done already for your classes?
Actually, it's I have some activity because in every activity I really have this, how do you say that, I really have made an evaluations. Okay, I have made an evaluations regarding the activity. So I can say all my activities are effective and efficient. Okay, but one of my activity is what some of the having this effective activity. When you say your classes, my offline classes, my physical classes, no problem. Okay, so I have a lot of activities, everything's under control and everything's under my monitor. So online classes, no problem. Okay, so I create activity that's on the screen and because I'm using Zoom or Google Meet, so I can particular Zoom, I can let my students interact with me. So in my high flex or hybrid class, it's as I mentioned a while ago, is I will create a online setting activity, just like it's really hard to mention because I usually I have patterned some format of the TV show game. Okay, TV show game. So I'm not advertising again. So I make a guessing game, just some sort of guessing game. Okay, so the online students and the offline students, they can have this just like there's two groups. Group A is online students, group B is offline students. And then I make these questions on the screens. Okay, so the online students they can type their answers through the chat box, and the offline students they will just say they just say the games and the answers through microphone. So that means the two different classes, the virtual classes, physical class, they have this interaction. Okay, they having this interaction because the online students also can use their microphone, but usually I am very strict on their audio because I'm afraid that students will just open the audio and then they will say something that we are not, but we it's not suitable for her to hear what they say. Okay, so it's somehow mandatory. So I usually use this kinds of game. Okay, number two, I have this game. Okay, another effective way of having the game is the just like uh it's a charade game. So students, my online students, were just in front of the camera and showing the online students, they want to let them guess something just through their body actions, body language. This one, okay. Then the online students, they will just guess what's the answer, and vice versa. The online students in their house, they will have this having these body gestures to act something, and that the offline student, to guess. Okay, this is one of having these games. Online offline students, you have to make them really have this interaction. Okay, this is one game. This is only game, but still have a lot of games on this one. But just makes use of some social media or some usually I use PowerPoint. I just use PowerPoint, a simple PowerPoint, and then it's how you handle the game. So I have made this a lot of this kind of game, or I can make some riddles so that the student guess, so online student can guess. But having online and offline students interact with each other and having this game, we should set one rule: is who will we say who will we, no, say the answer first. You cannot let them have this, to avoid have this argument, having this argument, because when they have this argument, the whole settings, the whole no, the activities will goes wrong. So we have to be careful in managing. It's easy to plan, easy to execute, but it's really hard to manage. So these are some games that I think it's effective, efficient, and my students loves it. Okay, so if you want to to know my other games regarding this one, actually you can uh, send me an email or something. I can share you what are some other games that I have created. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answers. So there is no more questions from our participants. So once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable ma'am, honorable sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and new date. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Okay, thank you very much again. Thank you.
Honorable sir, before I move to the next, if you want to leave this studio, you can.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, sir. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for our webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Certification process. Visit www.edigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Find the learning session and get enrolled. After watching completing part 1, move to the next, which is the learning test passing mark 80%. If pass, back to the course again to download your certificate. If fail to retake the quiz, download your certificate in PDF or JPG. For your attention, I am going to share the procedure again. Visit www.edigp.com. Make sure you're present on our website. Find the learning session and get enrolled. After watching completing part 1, move to the next, which is the learning test passing mark 80%. If pass, back to the course again to download your certificate. If fail to retake the quiz, download your certificate in PDF or JPG. Most engaging part of the webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. We have changed a few processes on our online live quiz competition. Note that after live, no one can participate. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Visit www.edugp.com and sign up or sign in. Without this, you cannot join live quiz competition anymore. Browse the live quiz button or given link. Find the session name and join with your logged website or user account. Click join and wait for a few minutes for others to join. Enjoy an online live quiz competition. After the quiz, we will issue certificate for top 10, which previously you can find on our official Facebook page, Street of Global Professional. After a short video, we will start our quiz. 24 people, we are going to start our quiz session right now. First question is, all of the following are challenge Cornelia settles face except option 1 overpollution, option 2 starvation. Option 1 is the right answer. 57% people are right here. Our second question is, which innovation would help you most to deal with the environmental challenge of the and transformers? Option 2 is the right answer. 18% people are right here. Our third question is, dash student usually face some kinds of challenge at school. Option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. Our next question is tricks of challenge acts of achievement. Option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 82% people are right here. Our next question is challenge of living in mega cities prune. Option 1 low traffic infrastructure and lack of clean water. Option 2 predatory employment opportunity. Option 1 is the right answer. 45% people are right here. Our next question is in Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter Quill challenges Ronan to A. Option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 50% people are right here. Our next question is this conflict involves the main character facing challenge of value, custom, and convictions. Option 1 man versus man. Option 2 man versus society. Option 2 is the right answer. 91% people are right here. Our next question is which Jane is offered about fighting physical challenge and classes. Option 1 rom-com. Option 2 action. So option 2 is the right answer. 76% people are right here. Our second last question of the session is all of these techniques, technologies are in innovation that help people overcome challenge related to which APWH theme. Option 1 social, option 2 environmental. Option 2 is the right answer. 86% people are right here. Our last and final question of the session is which set of tech innovations most help skilled road travelers overcome environmental challenge on the skill road? Option 1 paper making, gunpowder, and the astrobal. Option 2 yokes, sandals, and strips are domestic pack animals. Option 2 is the right answer. 83% people are right here. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in the top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say properly feed your skill, never stop learning, first life, never stop teaching us. Be happy, stay safe, see you again and again. We want your participation in every program. You have wish you one with happy life. Try to evolve all of people of himself, but I understand. Before I say or hit the end like button, I can once be not a seeker for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.